Hello students, in the last lecture we did potential energy of the charges and the system of charges. Now we have to find out the potential energy in an external field. In the previous topic we don't have an external field, the system was empty and we brought the first charge and it created an electric field intensity around it. So when we brought the first charge, the potential energy of the system was 0. That is, the work done was 0. Then that charge created an electric field around it. And now when the second charge was brought, we did the work against the electric field of the first charge. And this work done was stored in the form of potential energy. Now in a system, external field is already there, and now you have to bring a positive charge or you have to place an charge in that external field. So we have a two part for this: potential energy of a single charge and the potential energy of the system of charges. Now let us suppose that the electric field, an external electric field, already exists in a system. So this is an external electric field along the x-axis. Let us say this is a y-axis. So an external electric field, an uniform external electric field is taken along the x-axis. The field already exists in a system. So if the electric field is along x-axis, these are plus charges or this is a minus charges. Now we have to bring a charge Q and place it at a point P. Let this position vector be R vector. Now in order to find out the potential energy, the rule was first find out the work done to bring a unit positive charge. The rule was to find out the work done to bring a unit positive charge from infinity to that point in the system. And the work done to bring a unit positive charge is known as the potential. Now this potential किसका होता है? Potential हमेशा source का होता है. So this potential is created by the external field already at point P, and let the potential due to external field at point P be denoted by, so symbol we use, let V of R vector be the potential at point P due to external field E vector. So here VR means the potential or the work done to bring a unit positive charge at point P. Now instead of 1 coulomb or a unit positive charge, we brought Q amount of the charge at point P. So work done will be equal to Q into V. So simply work done to bring charge Q from infinity to point P in external field E vector is W is equal to, now this is our definition where W is equal to Q. So we brought Q charge at point P. So work done will be equal to Q V of R. This work done is called the potential energy of the single charge. So whatever amount of energy we spend, we will call the potential energy of a single charge in external field, and therefore the expression becomes U is equal to Q V of R. This is the expression from where we started the chapter. There the source was a point charge and we brought a unit positive charge or Q charge in the field of the source charge capital Q. Instead of that point charge as a source, we have an external field. So the answer comes out to be Q into VR. So this is the potential energy of a single charge. Note, the unit of energy is EV, that is electron volt. Now if there is a potential difference of 1 volt, an electron will be accelerated from low potential to the high potential, or the acceleration produced in an electron due to potential difference of 1 volt is called as electron volt or 1 EV, that is 1 electron volt. So definition of 1 EV is an electron accelerated due to potential difference delta V due to potential difference of 1 volt is called 1 EV, that is 1 electron volt. So if instead of Q charge we have 1 electron, then the SI unit of volt is SI unit of the potential is volt, so 1 EV. So when an electron is accelerated due to potential difference of 1 volt, then the work done is expressed in the term of a unit which is called 1 electron volt, and 1 EV is equal to, now the value of E, that is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19, that is the Coulomb volt, and Coulomb volt is known as joule. So 1 EV is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. So we will use this unit in the numerical. So this is the potential energy of a single charge. Now we will see the potential energy of the system of two charges. Now in the place of one charge, we have to bring the two charge from infinity to the points in an external field. The rule is simple. First we have to find out the potential at a point. Now when we bring a first charge, you have to do the work against this electric field. Then when we bring a second charge, then the work should be done against that first charge as well. The work should also be done against the external field. So when we bring a first charge in the external field, the formula remain what we have done in part A. But when we bring a second charge, then you have to spend the energy against this external electric field also, as well as that charge which will also create the potential in the field. So let us assume the two position where the charges are to be placed is say point P and the another point is Q. Let the position vector of this point P is R1 vector and the position vector of the point Q is R2 vector. So here R1 vector and R2 vector are the position vector of point P and Q. Now I have to place Q1 charge. I have to create a configuration where Q1 should be placed at point P and Q2 should be placed at point Q. So when I bring a first charge, so let V1 R1 be the potential at point P due to external field E vector. मतलब एक कूलम को पॉइंट P पे लाने का खर्चा V1 R1 है. Now we brought a charge Q1. So work done to bring Q1 from infinity to point P. So work done will be W1 is equal to Q1 V of R1. That is our equation 1. So first charge is brought in the system. Now when I bring a second charge, now Q1 is placed here. So now we have an external field E vector, as well as this Q1 will also create its own field. So now the work should be done against Q1 as well as the external field. So first we will find out the potential at R2 due to the external field, and then we know when we do the work against the two charges in the last topic, we know it will be K Q1 Q2 upon distance between the test and source. So let V2 R2 be the potential at point Q due to E vector, that is due to external field. So work done to bring Q2 from infinity to point Q against external field E vector is, let us name that work as W2 is equal to Q2 V of R2. So this is our equation number 2. Now yesterday we have seen that this P also create an electric field around it. So work should also be done when we bring a Q2 against Q1. So let V1 R2, it will be read as potential due to Q1 at R2. Let V1 R2 be the potential at point Q due to Q1. So Q1 एक कूलम लाने का खर्चा अगेंस्ट Q1. So work done will be equal to, now instead of 1 coulomb I brought Q2. So work done to bring Q3 against, Q2 against Q1. So that will be equal to W3 is equal to Q2 V1 R2. Now the total potential of the system, or potential energy, total potential energy of system. So W is equal to W1 plus W2 plus W3. Now what is W1? Work done to bring Q1 against external field. So Q1 VR1 plus W2, the work done to bring Q2 against the external field, that is Q2 VR2 plus what is W3? Work done to bring Q2 against Q1, that is Q2 V1 R2. Now this equation V1 R2 is written as kq1 upon distance between test and source, and that distance we have written r12, and therefore total work done is equal to q1 VR1 plus q2 VR2 plus q2, and V1 can be written as kq1 upon r12 into q2. So this is the potential energy of the system of two charges. Similarly, when we bring a third charge, that third charge should be brought against the external field. So one term, against q1 second term, against q3 three terms. So three more terms will be added in this. So in total we will have a 6 terms. So this is how the potential energy of the system of charges is calculated, and instead of this W you can write the symbol U, and it will be read as the potential energy of the system of the charges. Here it is 2 charge in external field. Now next topic is potential energy of a dipole in an external electric field. So in the first chapter we have seen the torque acting on a dipole in an external electric field. Now we will see the potential energy of a dipole. So again the same diagram, we assume the electric field intensity along the x-axis as shown in the figure. Now the dipole is placed, suppose this is our plus q charge, this is minus q charge, this is origin, and the total distance is 2a. In the first chapter we have written 2a vector because there we were dealing with a vector quantity. Here we have a scalar quantity. Now let this angle be theta. So what is the characteristic of a dipole? Whenever we place a dipole in an external electric field, it will rotate till it's get aligned in the direction of the field. So if I keep a dipole like this, the torque will act on it and it will rotate till theta becomes 0, or we call it till it gets aligned in the direction of the field. So we know the torque acting on a dipole. So torque acting on a dipole, tau vector was equal to P cross E, and the magnitude was written as PE sin theta. Let this be the equation 1. So that is the torque acting on a dipole in uniform electric field. Now you have to find out the potential energy. Potential energy of a dipole means, now if I release it freely, it will get aligned in the direction of the field. ये aligned हो जाएगा, theta 0 हो जाएगा. Now I want to rotate this dipole in an external electric field. Now if I want to rotate it by say a small angle d theta, then I have to spend the energy. So whatever energy you spend, it will be stored in the form of a potential energy. So when this dipole is placed in an external electric field, it is rotating and it is aligned. Now if I say rotate it and keep it at an angle of 30 degree, so clearly you will be doing the work against the external electric field, because the external electric field will not allow the dipole to rotate. लेकिन तुम्हें उसको कहां ले जाना है? 30 डिग्री पे, तो तुम्हें खर्चा करना पड़ेगा. Whatever energy you spend, that energy will be stored in the dipole and it will be called as a potential energy of a dipole. So if I spend 5 joule to rotate the dipole from 0 degree to 30 degree, now if at 30 degree I release the dipole, it will again come back to its original position, and in ideal situation it should give back that 5 joule of energy which was stored in it. So what should be the formula for the potential energy of a dipole? Clearly this is the torque acting on a dipole due to external field. So we have an external field along the x-axis. Now the work should be done in such a way that acceleration, in the place of acceleration, because you have to rotate it, I will say in such a way that angular acceleration should be 0. Angular acceleration should be 0, or it should be rotated with a constant angular velocity. So let W be the work done to rotate dipole by infinitesimally angle d theta. Now because I have to rotate it, say from theta naught to theta, initial angle, the dipole will align in the direction of the field. Now from 0 to 30 degree, I have to rotate it. So theta naught becomes 0 and theta becomes the final angle. Now it should be rotated in such a way that the angular acceleration should be 0. So if I am rotating it by an angle d theta, the work done should be dw. And then we know that we will integrate it from initial limit to the final limit. So first we will do the small amount of work done. So small amount of work done is equal to torque external into d theta. That is the definition of the work done. In the place of the force we have tau external, and in the place of the displacement you have the angular displacement. Now dot formula should be F dot dr. Dot is removed because both are in the same direction, or cos theta or angle between the tau external and d theta is 0. So cos 0 1 becomes 1. This much amount of work has to be done. Now what is the torque external acting on the dipole? That is Pe sin theta d theta. So substituting this equation 1 here. Now total work done to rotate dipole from theta naught to theta. So initial angle is theta naught, final angle is theta. Then W should be equal to integration of dW. The limit is from theta naught to theta, or say theta 1 to theta 2, any symbol we can take. This is equal to, substitute this equation, PE constant outside the integration, so sin theta d theta, limit becomes theta naught to theta. Therefore W is equal to, now integration of sin theta, that is minus cos theta. So minus PE cos theta. So integration of sin theta d theta is minus cos theta. Limit theta naught to theta. Therefore W is equal to minus PE, where you know P is a dipole moment, that is Q into 2A, cos theta. So final minus initial. So cos of final minus cos of initial. Now this much amount of work has to be done to rotate a dipole from theta naught to theta. This is the amount of work done. So this work done is generally stored in the form of a potential energy. So if you have to rotate a dipole, the work done should be equal to minus PE cos of final angle minus cos of initial angle. This is the most important expression to rotate a dipole in an uniform electric field. Now if we see P is a dipole moment. So we know that P is equal to Q into 2A. So if it is required, I can write P is equal to Q into 2A. And now see the concept of the relation between E and V. Here the electric field is along the x-axis, but the charges are in two dimension. So if I want to take the distance between the two dipole, or if I want to find out the potential difference, I will drop this perpendicular. It will be called A cos theta. This is theta. This will also be theta. I drop this perpendicular. It becomes A cos theta. Now we know that when I apply this formula, E is equal to minus dV by dr. If the electric field is along x-axis, I have to take this perpendicular distance as the distance along the x-axis. So the total distance between the dipole becomes A cos theta, it becomes 2A cos theta. So if I want to find out the potential difference, the direction of the field and the distance between the dipole should be taken as 2A cos theta, because field is 1D but the charges are two dimensional. So again the potential difference has to be taken as E dot dr. But if the field is along the x-axis, that is I component, dr should also be along the x-axis, that is I component. So the displacement, the component of displacement along the x-axis is 2A cos theta. So if I keep this value here, so it becomes minus Q2A, this is cos theta, into E. This Q, W upon Q, it will give you the potential. Now this will give you the potential difference, otherwise Q, it will become potential. So potential is equal to 2A cos theta into E, that is minus E 2A cos theta, and W upon Q can be written as V. So again we get the same formula, E is equal to minus dV upon dr. We will apply this concept in some numerical, where if I have to write the distance between the dipole, I will not take 2A, I will take the distance as 2A cos theta, because the field is along x-axis and the relation is not simple that E is equal to V upon dr. The relation is minus dV upon dr. So this is the work done to rotate a dipole. Now, as a natural choice, we have to always fix the natural angle, or we have assumed that the potential at infinity is 0. Similarly, because the external field always aligns the dipole in the direction of the field, we assume that the dipole will be aligned and we have to rotate it by some angle. So if it is aligned, theta naught should be 0. And if I have to rotate it from 0 degree to 30 degree, the formula becomes minus PE cos theta, that is cos 30 minus cos 0. But as a natural choice, theta naught is assumed to be pi by 2. Now we will see why this initial angle is taken as 90 degree or pi by 2 radian. For the time being, we assume theta naught is pi by 2. In this case, W is equal to minus PE cos theta, and cos theta naught cos 90 is 0. So the formula reduces to minus PE cos theta. So for the time being, you assume that the initial angle or the dipole is at 90 degree, and then we are rotating it to a new angle theta. The work done is stored in the form of potential energy, and it is denoted by U. So U is equal to minus PE cos theta. So this is called the potential energy of a dipole. So if we have a choice in our hand, then initial is taken as pi by 2, and now if it is Pe cos theta, this can also be written as P vector dot E vector. So potential energy of a dipole in external electric field is minus P dot E, again minus sign indicate that the work has to be done against the field. So this is potential energy of a dipole in an external electric field. Now we will discuss the case about the potential energy of a dipole. So we have also done the cases in chapter 1 where torque was found for different angle. Now suppose if theta is 0 degree, it means the dipole is aligned. Now this is an electric field and the dipole is aligned in the direction of the field. So substituting 0 here, U is equal to minus Pe. It is minimum potential energy of a dipole. It is minimum potential energy of a dipole. And if you remember, when theta was equal to 0, it was called as stable or the normal position of a dipole. So if we have to find out the potential energy at the normal position, it has minus Pe. Now in order to rotate it, at least you have to give the energy of plus Pe. So when the dipole is aligned, it already possesses this much amount of the potential energy. So if I say rotate it from 0 degree, the minimum energy requirement is plus Pe, similar to a block which is placed on the ground has a gravitational force mg. Now if I say lift this box from the ground, then I have to at least apply this much force in the upward direction. Similarly, this body or a dipole possesses this much potential energy, and the minimum energy required to rotate it should be against this field, and it should be plus Pe. Now second case, if theta is equal to pi radian, so cos of 180 or pi radian is minus 1, so it becomes plus Pe. It is unstable position. It is the unstable position of a dipole, and the value is the maximum value. So these are the cases of a dipole placed in a uniform electric field. So in the numerical, if it is given, find out the potential energy of a dipole at an angle of 30 degree. So dipole is placed at an angle of 30 degree. So simply you substitute 30 value here. So in order to keep that dipole at 30 degree stable, this much amount of energy is there in it. Now if I say rotate a dipole from 30 degree to 60 degree. Now in this situation, we have to apply the formula work done is equal to minus Pe cos of final angle minus cos of initial angle. So depending upon the numerical, you have to use the formula. If a single angle is given, then directly you apply minus Pe cos theta, means it possesses that much energy whatever angle is given, that is the minimum energy. So if I say find the potential energy at 30 degree, so it will never remain 30 degree by itself. So to maintain it at 30 degree, you have to spend this much of energy. How much? Minus Pe cos of 30. But now from 30 to 60 degree, then I have to do the work against. There is a torque acting on it in this direction, that is a clockwise direction. My work should be against it. I have to apply the work in the opposite direction. So now I have to rotate it from 30 degree to 60 degree. So use this formula. So this is we have the concept regarding the potential energy of a single charge or a two charge or a dipole in an external electric field. Have a good day.